This is Becky. When you first log into Optin Designer, you'll be at your dashboard where you'll have no campaigns created yet. You want to create your first campaign by clicking the Create New button. Give it a name. This name is only for you. It does not show up anywhere else. So I'm just simply going to name it Optin number 1. This will take you to a blank opt-in form where you can manually edit all the different configurations. Now the real power is going to be in the templates. We'll cover that in a minute. But before you get too far into the templates, just take a look around and get familiar with the options that you do have. You've got your form options here where you can change the orientation, vertical or horizontal. You can show icons or not. You can name your fields. You can adjust your font sizes. You can adjust the input font size, the padding, the borders, the roundness of the borders. You can change the width of the input, the border color. You can define the tags for the name and the email and the placeholders. You can change your font information and the font color. And you can take, and by dragging in these icons, you can add text, insert a text box that you can then manipulate. You can drag in images, upload an image, manipulate it around. You can take and move all of these different pieces around to adjust it. You can drop in a video, add the video YouTube ID. You can add clip art. There is a lot of clip art available to you. And of course, each one of them is adjustable. You can adjust them by the edges. You can adjust them by the corner. You can drop in a colored area, a box. You can define the color. If you want to change the main color, just drag in the bar section till you get to the general area, and then you can take and drag the little circle around until you get to the color you want, and then click the little colored circle in the corner there to have it add. You can define the opacity. 1 is solid opaque. If you want 50% opacity, you can change it to 0.5. You can define the type of corners. Want rounded corners, insert the color box. Drag from the corner that has the little dashes there, the little lines. You right click on it. You can define where the box is. I'm going to leave it at the back so that when I put it behind, everything else shows up in front. Maybe I'll make it a little bit lighter. So let's go 0.2, update the color box. So there's a lot you can do here. Again, get familiar with the options that you can do manually, but the real power, the brilliance of this program is in the templates. And when you go to the templates, loading a template will overwrite anything you've done already in the box. There are a lot of different templates that you can choose from. Select one you like, and then you can edit anything about it. You can move things around. You can delete, right-click, delete an item. You can edit what it says. You can change icons, reposition, make any changes you want. And then when you're ready, you can hit save. Although the manual designer is very powerful, the real savings in time and design is by starting with the templates. All of the tools that you have for controlling the manual designer are also available with templates, but the templates will give you a better starting point because you can pick something that is close to what you want to end up with, and all you have to do is modify it to fit your needs. When you click templates, you get the warning that loading a template will overwrite your current page. Just hit OK, and you'll have a whole bunch of templates that you can choose from. Pick whichever one is going to be closest to where you want to end up. All of the wording, all the clip art, everything about it is totally editable. So select your template and you can go from there. Now you are able to make changes to anything here. You can modify anything about any of the templates that you want, and then just simply hit save to save it to that point. Now if you make a change that you don't like, then all you have to do to get back to the previous save version is go back to your dashboard and then just simply edit again, and it'll take you back to where you were at your last save. Before you get too involved in trying to create a real opt-in form, take a few minutes and get totally familiar with how the system itself works. Choose one of the templates, manipulate the pieces, see what happens, see what you can grab. The lower right corner where you see those little tiny slashes there, that's the corner that you can grab to do most of your adjustment for sizes in both directions. If you get the four-headed arrow, that's for moving things around. If you right-click, that's for editing. Look and see what the options are. If you're doing a font, a text, you can change the font, you can change the size, you can change the font color. Again, choose your color and then hit the lower right icon to apply it. You can position it in the layers in the back, in the middle, or up front. If you want to resize something proportionally, then hold the Shift key down as you drag. Notice the difference when the Shift key is held down versus when the Shift key is not held down. The Shift key, no Shift key. And again, you've got all the options for adding text, images, videos, clip arts, and color boxes. From here, you also have the form options and the options here that affect your form. So if you want to move the form area, drag from the background. You can change the orientation. So notice now it's vertical. I'm going to go ahead and delete this clip art just to give myself a little bit of a background. I'll move this into position here. Now, if you want to say show the icons, they're currently set to yes. If you change it to no, you lose the background and you lose the little icons. Name field, that's whether or not you want your name to show. If you want just the email, turn that off. Now the font size here affects the actual name tags. Notice we don't have it saying name or email on the outside. So if we adjust it, it doesn't seem like anything happens. But if we give it the label, name and email, and then we can adjust the font size, and you can see that it does affect things. I'm going to go ahead and delete those so we don't have them there. And this is the input font area. You can adjust that. You can adjust the padding around the input font. You've got the border edge, the roundness, the width of the input boxes. You've got the color of the border. I'm going to go down into the yellow area, hit the little circle in the corner to apply it. You can define what goes into the placeholders here, your name, your best email. You can change the font color and the font style. And then you click the button. The button defines the button that they're going to click to sign up, etc. So you can change the wording, sign up now. You can change the style, the size of the font. You can change the color of the font. This is set for white right now. Click it. You can do some other color. Let's go down into maybe a yellow. You can see it change there. You can change the padding, the thickness of the border, the roundness of the border, the color of the border. Apply it. The color of the background. So if you wanted a alignment, whether it's left, now it says left, but notice that up here a lot of spaces have been added. And you can change the padding between the fields where they're signing up and the button. And then you've got the pop-up option. Background type, whether it's color, transparent. Let me move it over here so you can see this better. Background color, and there's your overall color. Okay. Apply that. There's the thickness of the border. Notice the change. The roundness. Again, you're working with the overall opt-in box. There's the color. You've got a background. There's a PNG. You can change the background image itself. You can clear the background. You can change the width of the opt-in box or the height. Very important, the redirect URL. Where do you want to send them when they sign up? Are you sending them to a download, to a thank you page, to something? Define that. And absolutely critical is setting up the autoresponder connection. If you have MailChimp, you're going to add the list ID and the API key. If you have GetResponse, again, your list ID and your API key. If you have Aweber, all you need is a list ID. Now I haven't saved all these crazy changes yet. So all I'm going to do to go back to where it was before is go back to my dashboard and then click the edit button again for the opt-in, and it's back to where it was, where I would start editing it normally for a real opt-in form. So this gives you a quick overview of how the opt-in forms work for setting up. Get familiar with it. Remember to save when you know that you've gotten to a point where you want to keep it. You don't have an undo, go back option. All you can do is ignore the changes, go back to the dashboard and reopen it from your previous save. So just remember that that's something you want to do, is to save it often as you're working, especially if you know that you've made a change that you want to keep. And there will be other videos showing some of the other features of the tool.